Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about the markets. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Thursday, right? Thursdays are never beating the allegations that they're probably going to end up being read. It seems like today is no exception, but maybe for crypto it is, which is currently flat on the day. We'll discuss all of that and then some throughout this stream. But yeah, I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Tucker, Jackus, Louie, and Max. We've got a full panel for you guys today, and we are going to cook you up some delicious alpha. At the very least, we're certainly going to try. But before we can do that, before we can dive into the charts, the crypto, I hate to say it, it's cursed. The crypto relative strength. It seems like oil is pumping back again. Is this a complacency, or is oil just going higher? I guess we'll discuss that and then some. But before we can do that, I'm going to ask if you guys can hit that like button for us. Let's not look at any soybeans, although one of the smarter traders I know is getting very long agriculture stocks. So I did find that to be pretty interesting yesterday. I know that's something Prometheus has talked about for like a year at this point. So maybe we do want to look at soybeans, but I guess that's up to you guys to decide, the audience.
I'm going to be checking today. So
yeah. So I guess we might be looking at soybeans. So hit the like button. Louis will be policing it, it seems. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the charts. It's Thursday. You guys should know the drill at this point, what that typically entails. A red market. Fridays are typically green, but I said this last week. I kind of feel like Thursdays and Fridays will switch roles a little bit. I guess we'll see how that holds because, Thursday is red. But at the same time, we have Bitcoin basically flat on the day. ETH is up about 1%. Is this a sign? Is this relative strength a similar trait to what we saw last April where crypto front ran the bottom? Or is it a sign that crypto is just kind of waiting and watching for equities to give its move to sell off again? Again, things we'll discuss on today's show. Some problems going on, obviously, with private credit and under the hood. We'll talk about that. I'll do a video on that later today, but obviously that's having some impact on the market as well, with banks selling off here throughout the week. But yeah, I mean, Hyperliquid is up to $37.50, man. Pretty incredible to witness that strength even throughout, this, I mean, whatever we want to call this regime that we've been trading within. But there's no secret, right? Hyperliquid is benefiting from the fact that you can trade stocks and commodities on chain, and we certainly have a lot of excuses to do that right now. So how are we doing, guys? What are we seeing in the markets? Do we have any thoughts on everything that we're seeing today? I mean, we kind of know the drill with Thursdays at this point, or at least I feel like we should. That today it shouldn't be too surprising. Obviously, it's going to be more important kind of how we trade next week at this point.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I will say this, like, I don't think that crypto looks as bad as stocks. Like, when I look at certain large caps, they look awful, man. And that's a bit difficult for me to reconcile why that is. But, looking at most of the large cap NASDAQ names, it really feels like they want to take a stab down. Maybe that's short-lived. Maybe it's very aggressive. I don't know. But structurally, these look like they're topping, while crypto looks like it's trying to bottom, which is very confusing, right? Which is very, very confusing. Yeah, it's hard to reconcile, right? So like when I look at the Mag 7, no, don't want to own it, want to short it, looks bad. When I look at crypto, I'm more in like level by level, but like, more hedging for a catastrophe than like actually wanting to short. Because it's like, it's hard for me to imagine a world where mega cap tech slides hard, but crypto somehow just doesn't feel it at all. We have seen that before, for sure. Like, I think back to maybe like October. I think it was October 23. That happened. That precise thing happened. So it can happen. Or maybe I'm just misreading what Equities are doing. But yeah, go ahead, Louis. It's a bit hard to reconcile what the hell's going on because they look different from each other.
Is there a ticker that represents the Mag 7, or do you have to like create it?
There is one ETF, but it's not truly the Mag 7 because they have like discretionary positioning and stuff. So
I would have to like add them together.
You got to add them together, but it doesn't take that long if you want to do it. I mean, it.
But wouldn't that like not really work though, because it's by price then and not market cap?
Yeah, you'd have to do it by market cap, not price.
Yeah.
All right, let's just
all right. I'm done.
let's do Bitcoin divided by the Qs.
There you go.
Low-key looks kind of bullish. The only problem is like it's bullish off of the back of QQQ looking weak, which for USD prices means jack shit. So
hey, you can still buy 117 QQQs with one Bitcoin.
It's true. I don't know, man. I think things are gonna resolve a bit lower, just given like what Max said, the look of mega cap tech and VIX and oil. The bad combination, man. It's a bad combination. You know, Louis, pull up oil or pull up the VIX.
Earl.
Give me oil on the 6 hour.
man,
I know Louis chart. It's a hard job being the chart guy.
Can you say oil for me, Tucker?
Oil?
Okay. Yeah.
Did I say oil?
Oh, I said oil.
Pull up oil.
Yeah.
What do you want? 6 hour?
That was like some real Southern hillbilly oil.
The New Yorker
change
cannot comprehend the Southern drawl.
Yeah.
oil.
Oil. Zoom in.
You get some motor oil.
Yeah, some motor oil.
Motor oil.
Tucker has more of an accent than I do.
Dude, I really don't think that I have an accent like at all. I'm pretty sure like Kansas, Missouri, Midwest is like the least accent possible.
I don't think either of you have an accent. I think that Tucker, once in a while, you just rip a word that sounds really Southern, but
yeah,
it's not like you have a consistent accent.
No.
Tommy, you have no accent at all.
No,
You've been Denver washed at this point, man.
I never had an accent growing up either.
Really?
Yeah. For those who don't know, like I grew up in Alabama, so I should have like a very Southern accent. I just don't.
I thought you lost at college or something.
Well, I went to college.
Oh, I guess, yeah, you wouldn't have. Yeah, it'd be Denver.
It's all the liberal coffee in Denver, man.
Yeah.
Transformed them.
I had some delicious liberal coffee about an hour ago.
I mean, it's hands down the best coffee there is. Like, there's no
Dude, liberal coffee is the best. Like, just like a liberal pour over.
Oh. Yeah.
It's the best, man. Like, I want to see rainbow flags and like, you know, like very political like badges on their shirts and like nose gauge piercings and like, you know,
anti-ice posters in the coffee
yeah,
shop.
yeah. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I want to see the most like angsty liberal workers ever. They grew up with their families are like probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but they just grew up with like a ton of like white guilt or something, and then they just like got a weird haircut and went to go make coffee for a living. And like, man, that liberal coffee is just it's the oppression tears in the latte that just hits different.
Yeah.
You know. But it's not actual oppression. It's like self-inflicted, self-made. Like, I'm oppressed, and then they just make you a latte. Thank you, thank you, sir or ma'am, whichever it is. Thank you. It is so delicious.
Are you Are you creating an analog for the South African diamond mines?
What?
I don't know what that means, but
Yeah, what?
The little blood diamonds from South Africa.
Oh, that's a good movie, Blood Diamond.
Oh,
dude,
great.
if I don't know what that means, but I'll tell you, like if I walk into a coffee shop and they have like conservative propaganda, no problem with that. Just I'm not drinking your coffee. You know, like I know it's gonna be just burnt
That's
crap.
motor oil right there.
motor oil coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want that, man. Like
Gas.
I want that artistic oppression coffee, man.
Mhm.
Just so good.
How
The real pressing questions.
go
You
to
don't want-
Valvoline and just buy all the oil they have.
AutoZone. Some.
Motor oil?
Buy all their oil.
How does oil against lean hog futures look?
That's a good question.
Because I'm just thinking like
Oil beams.
Do I have lean hogs?
Oh yeah, you do.
you do have to pay extra for it, I think.
HE.
I did recently upgrade my Trading View.
Louis, the
subscription.
ticker is HE.
Tucker.
Trust me,
No.
I know the ticker.
HE.
HE.
Double high.
HE.
There it is.
I'm having trouble understanding you today, Tucker.
I don't know why.
Is this pair correct here? Is this
It looks exactly like
a
oil.
barrel of oil paired against a hog? Is that what,
1-to-1 right now.
are you telling me that one barrel of oil is trading at parity with one hog? Are you trying to tell me that right now? Because this is history, if that's
Whoa.
the case.
Oh, look at that.
What happened?
Yeah, one lean hog is worth one barrel of oil.
So you're telling me I can take all my pigs and go trade them for a barrel of oil right now?
1-to-1. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Damn.
I mean, that's great news. I'm sitting on a lot of hogs right now,
Yeah.
just squealing in the garage. I'm going to Valvoline with my hogs right now. I'm going to trade them in.
I'd like to exchange my hog for a barrel, please. What they say.
This chart either looks like a great compression or like the euthanasia of euthanasias.
Yeah. See, Louis, zoom in again. I feel like this is one where it's like you have to bid that first liquidation pullback. It's just like silver. Like,
Yeah.
It's literally the silver chart. It's like
But silver hasn't gone on to make a new high yet, though.
not yet, but
Not yet.
not yet. But
Yeah, silver did this. And now it's reaccumulating.
why don't we put some fractals on, Louis? I know it's a big ask.
Now you're getting greedy.
Yeah. I think this is probably the future for oil right here.
Oh,
See?
Am I
man?
really saying it like that, dude?
Yeah.
future for all.
Future oral's bright.
I'm really not even trying.
Yeah, the
Motor
frick is
all.
the bars pattern. Why am I slow
Wait,
this morning?
what's the market cap of oil? Is it actually 5 trillion?
No.
Oh,
Dude, I mean, that's got to be hard to calculate because they're constantly just like
I
pulling
mean,
it out of the ground, right?
it's got to be bigger than that, right? Like, there's just no way that Bitcoin at one point was like half the market cap.
I
of
mean,
oil.
supply is
I
infinite.
refuse to believe that's even a possibility.
It says it's valued at roughly 6 or 7 trillion in economic value. It doesn't have a hard market cap.
Okay.
so this is about as high as we're gonna go.
Honestly, Louis, I think we're probably topped on that, man. Like,
Cut and run.
yeah.
All right.
I mean, dude, it's a once in a multi-decade move. Like, take profit on that thing, man. Like, it's oil.
No, it's Earl.
What are we really expecting? Like, $300 a barrel? Like, no, not happening. Like, all Trump will do if it starts to climb and make a new high, he's just gonna like basically get on the news and be like, I have a master plan, like oil will be dirt cheap when I'm done, and then it was gonna crater, you know. It's like, dude, cut it, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not gonna let it pop up, man. Like, he's just not. He's gonna talk it down no matter what happens.
Well, yeah, wasn't the Treasury saying they were just gonna short oil? Like that was their.
Yeah, they're not going to let it make materially new highs, I don't think. You know, I think you're honestly at this point playing for like a deviation of the blow off that it had.
Are you on CL, Louis?
No.
You're on US oil. Okay.
Pretty much the same, though, no?
Yeah, just how far back does it go? Put it on like the monthly. I feel like Will's Outlook saying that.
Put it on the monthly.
Throw it on the monthly.
That is a Will thing to say.
Yeah, it's slightly different. As a B adjust. I mean, yeah. I doubt you get really above 150.
Listen, oil will go to 200 and above, guys. But not on this move just yet. That's my expectation.
When, Jackus? What about the timing?
I do think that the timing could be like 28 when it goes to 200. But I think it's gonna get halted here for like the rest of 26. Then sometimes 27 start to move up. Something like that is my estimate, but it's really hard obviously to predict timing because you never know how long some of the ranges can take. But and then you're like, when you have a range, usually the market's waiting for some trigger to pop it, and oftentimes there is a fake out first too. Something similar to what we saw here with this move. There was that like range, then drop down, then secondary drop down. You know, because the first spike was actually already the Iran strike in 2025. And that already sent the prices pretty high, but then it got halted, price bled down for a double bottom, and then boom. What I'm thinking about is that I do not know what will cause it. What will cause oil to go to 200? I do not know what, but it will be interesting.
I don't think it's going to 200, man.
It's going higher probably than
In the
200.
midterm year for U.S. elections, dude, the worst thing, it's time and time again, it's been shown that the most crippling thing for U.S. elections is high gas prices. Like, they are not going to let this thing go much further. I'm telling you. Midterm year, no way.
No, I'm not
No
saying
way.
it's happening now, but I'm saying in the next 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying right now.
I'll forget about it by then, but you could be right. You could be right.
Yeah.
I'll move on to a new shit coin or something. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
When oil memes.
Oil?
Yeah, I really haven't seen many oil memes.
So yeah, it's so funny. I have this one friend he's not like in crypto like us, but like he listened to my advice in 2021, bought some ETH, made some money, you know. He's been sending me this meme. It's literally just called US oil. And he was telling me about it, and it's been doing well. I don't know what I did on this move, but I probably did well. It's just like the classic, like normie friend finds a meme coin that outperforms everything you've been watching for the last year, you know?
Classic. Classic case.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at this, like leading into, like, I feel like everyone's looking for this, you know, like, oh, oil just popped. I'm seeing like the fractals. Oh, last time we saw oil, big spike in oil, we were in the 2008 crash, right? Like oil, well, I mean, even if you take it from down here, but even if you just take it from here, you know, it rallied for a year and a half before eventually, crashing. And like, I'm assuming this is kind of around where 2008 happened as well, so like, obviously a little different. This is a big move. Like, this was like a little more gradual, but, and it did the same thing in 2021 as well, right? This rallied for 2 years before, like, we saw markets officially kind of top. So like, as we're seeing this oil spike, everyone's like, oh, bearish confirmation, like, oh, everything's fucked. Well, I mean, you could be saying that for another year or two before anything like that actually happens, But I'm no expert on this, to be honest. So that's all I'll say.
The thing I think is interesting with oil right now, it's kind of how it's looks to be impacting yields and treasuries. Because obviously, if oil prices are going to stay elevated, it's going to be harder for them to keep a lid on some of these yields.
I agree with that. I think the current oil situation is definitely like raising uncertainty, which obviously makes the yields go up. At the same time, I think both Trump and Iran will be forced to capitulate soon. Trump will be forced to capitulate due to midterms, so he cannot be extending this war into them, and Iran is running out of ammunition. So like both nations are playing with time here, in my opinion. So I think when it gets solved, it's gonna make oil prices to range as things will stabilize for some time, obviously, and then yields will probably come back where they were before.
I think treasuries are pretty bad right now. Like TLT, I think looks horrible right now. And obviously, it's not going to be 1-for-1 with something like the 10-year. But if TLT does dump, there probably is a spike in yields coming. We're at support, right? Like, in theory, we should be bottoming out here on TLT, but it's like we're seeing lower and lower vol into support, which feels dumpy to me.
Yeah,
like,
that looks bearish.
What the?
Oh, we lost Tommy.
What the?
Rugged. Yes, you'll be forced to use EVs not by government enforcing it onto you, but simply by oil being too expensive. But I think by the time the tech, the cars, the EVs will get actually much cheaper, and it will be pleasant experience by then, because like the infrastructure will be built, their prices will be cheaper, and they're actually kind of alrighty. So I don't think it's gonna be in the current way where EVs are mostly for people with higher salaries, to put it lightly.
Yeah, they're going to become more affordable,
They already are, by the way, in China, Louis. They are way more affordable. China is leading this way. But when China is trying to export over to Europe or really like to other places, it's those countries put in place tariffs onto those, because otherwise it would totally ruin their industries. I'm speaking mainly about Europe here.
Yeah, they usually They usually lead the way with stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, they got to just become more affordable to be realistic, you know. But I mean, I see a ton of Teslas out there, man. Maybe it's just the area I live in. I live in, I guess.
I see a lot too, Louis. I see a ton.
Yeah.
I see a lot.
And I actually mentioned this on a show I think last week, but like they just like a Tesla dealership just sprouted up out of nowhere, which I've never seen one before near me. So that was interesting too.
We've got some Rivian dealerships by me.
Really? See, I've never seen one of those.
I haven't seen any of those dealerships, but I do see a lot of those driving around.
In Czech, recently, I've seen lots of ads for BYD and Neo cars, but they are still pretty pricey due to the things I mentioned.
I mean, cars are just expensive in general right now, too.
Dude, it's crazy how much cars are right now. I actually can't even believe it.
Cars cost what apartments used to cost. Not so long ago.
Yeah, car payments are like almost a rent payment.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rivian chart, this is tough, you know.
I want to like it.
Yeah, I want to think it's going to do this, but I'm also like,
I've been watching for that to happen for like 2 years. It feels like.
What, this?
No. Like the
true
finally it pops up, you know.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't wanted to do it.
We will be buying the generational $10 double bottom later this year. Don't let me fud myself out of it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if oil remains elevated, I think there is a narrative for these EVs. I know Jack has just been talking about that a lot as well. I think, you know, you could front run that for sure. Like Neo looks really good. This is one we're playing in the Discord as well. This looks pretty constructive here.
One of the things I like about Rivian too, on like a fundamental level, is it's kind of like a indirect proxy of longing the shift in innovation from San Francisco to Texas, because Rivian has a ton of like a lot of their manufacturing occurs in America. I want to say Texas in particular. So that's kind of like a underrated narrative for Rivian that will probably like there are not many ways that you can kind of capitalize on that shift, right? Like Silicon Valley is effectively moving to Texas right now. Frisco, Austin, those are like kind of the two main, they're becoming like tech hubs. And I think you're going to see a lot of Silicon Valley people who aren't moving to Miami. They're going to end up moving to Texas.
Tesla already moved, right? A while ago. They like led the way with that.
I believe so.
Yeah, we all this EV talk, and then Tesla looks like this, you know.
Bipolar chart.
Yeah, Tesla is just something else.
You know, part of me says this is going to pull an ETH, right? With like the minute all-time, you know, sweep of the all-time high, and then come all the way back down. And then another part of me is like, is this just a, you know, compression before like a big like parabolic move? You know, I don't know. But I think we're gonna find out soon.
It's still hanging around up here. When SpaceX launches, which I think the earliest date, and I looked it up yesterday, was like June, then I think it becomes a really intriguing long. But maybe SpaceX IPO is also just like a massive liquidity drain at the same time. So I'm not sure.
That's for real. That's, dude, it actually irks me so much that all these companies are just fueled by private rounds. Public never got a chance to invest in them, and then they're going to IPO at the most egregious valuations and just dump so hard on retail, just taking it straight out of the crypto VC playbook. And it's going to be one of the single greatest wealth destruction events for like retail that's just clueless on how frothy these IPO valuations are. They're going to dump on them so hard, man. They are going to dump on retail so freaking hard. It's going to be really sad. They're going to go down 95% off their IPOs, all of them. That's when you buy them.
To be honest, if people are going to buy it, it's their fault. You know, like they deserve it.
Yeah, it's just I think about like, you know, all of our parents' generation got the opportunity to like shove money mindlessly into, you know, tech companies and like DCAing into the NASDAQ, and they just got filthy rich off doing nothing.
True.
And our generation doesn't have that opportunity, you know, like you miss the boat on all the NASDAQ blue chips.
No,
and then finally, like the new tech of our generation comes around, and that's filled with just VCs, all private rounds, ultra high net worth, like institutions and individuals, not available to the public until it's over $1 trillion valuation. It's a complete scam, man. I'm actually very disheartened by that whole like process. It's very, you know, it's let's put it this way. It's like it's very un-American. It's kind of the antithesis of the design of the free market. I mean, people could buy Microsoft in the late 80s, you know, and hit like a 1,000,000% return just by holding it with a small amount of money, you know, by Apple in the early 2000s, Amazon early 2000s, Netflix early 2000s. And it's like there was a real opportunity to like for the public to just throw some money at new tech, you know, innovation and print on it. And it's like, oh, so now like our generation finally gets like the new tech. We've been using it for 2 years, but no one was able to invest in it because it was totally boxed off. It's a complete scam, man. Like that's bullshit that they're all going to IPO at $1 trillion+ valuation with no public markets available for years. While retail like us, who would have invested in this thing 2 years ago, if it was, you know, if it had IPO'd at 100 million, 200 million market cap, we would have all been throwing money at it because we've been using it for that long. I don't know. It's pretty shitty, man. I wouldn't touch those IPOs for at least a couple years. Let them crash 95%. Let Chamath Pahupala Dudada dump on you, you know, with all of his friends from the All In Poop Cast, you know. Let them dump on you. They're going to shill you, tell you it's the best thing ever on IPO while they dump on you, you know. And then you come in a few years later and you buy it up, you know. But it is bullshit. Like, it's complete bullshit. It's retail. The public has been completely boxed out from all this new tech, which is, it hasn't been that way in the past, you know. It hasn't been. So,
but you know bullshit. What they say?
Don't touch them. You're going to get dumped on by a bunch of snakes. So,
you know what they say? Easy times create weak men, and weak men create tough times. And we are now in the tough times, and tough times create strong men. So you'll be very strong, Max. You'll be very strong from bag holding your ease bags for 5 years.
I will be.
They're creating very strong vibe coders.
For real. I almost find much more annoying the fact how not the AI slop. The AI slop is pretty nasty, but like every single, you know, guru out there telling you how AI is going to take away your job and you're gonna be, you know, living on a UBI.
I mean, I think that's the end goal.
The amount of shit that I see on Twitter that's just like Claude just like here are 5 amazing prompts that like I gave Claude that like made me $5,000 in like 5.5 milliseconds. Dude, how about you shut the fuck up and go do anything other than being a Claude shill?
You know what that sounds like, Max?
What?
The Uniswap ads back in 2021 and 2022.
A little bit. I can see that.
My Uniswap bot made me 1 ETH in 5 minutes. Here's how.
That's real.
Yeah, they make it seem so easy. And like, if you've played around with any of these tools, you know, like it is not like you're way more productive. Like it's the bot is doing stuff that you don't know how to do, or if you do know how to do it, it would take you fucking forever.
Well, dude, everybody's vibe coding, but you're vibe coding nothing. Like, what are you actually doing?
And not even that, like you got to go back and forth over and over and over and over again to like tweak things. And then sometimes they do get confused. Sometimes like they'll go back to an older code and like, or mix things up. And like, you got to like, and they'll fix the mistake, but like, it's like, you got to like going back, you can spend a whole day going back and forth with a bot and like still not get as much done as like you would think. So like, yeah, these guys online that are like, oh, it's so easy, and you know,
dude, they're unpaid Claude shills, man. That what they're doing is they just post something that gets like decent engagement from the algo.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And then they make like $17 from like a Twitter stimmy check. And I'm like, was that really worth it for you? Like that's your life now, is like being like an AI shill poster on X. It's terrible, bro. X has been destroyed. It makes me so sad, man. X used to be so fun like 3, 4, 5 years ago. It is terrible now, man. It is insufferable.
It's awful.
Insufferable, man. I was really hoping Elon would make it better. It made it truly so much worse. I have no question about it. Like it's awful, bro. It's awful. Like people are the incentive structure is so backwards on the whole thing. Like people are encouraged and promoted and furthermore financially rewarded for just posting slop.
Dude, it's like, at least though we have a slop detector at this point, you know, so we can. I feel like I can read 3 words of a post now and tell you almost immediately if it's AI, because they have like the exact same
yes. But what I'm more talking about is like fake breaking headlines.
Yeah.
That upon first glance can seem real. It's written by a person, but they're incentivized to just post something that's not true and polarizing because it will spread and get engagement, and then they get money from Twitter. Like there's a war going on right now. Breaking, like Israel's largest base, you know, like bombed by like Iran, and it like, you know, whoa, this account looks legitimate. And then you like go to the comments and someone's like, at Grok, is this true? No, this is not true, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, this person probably just made like $500 because there's millions of impressions on this fake tweet. It's a complete shit show, man. It's a complete shit show. Shit show. It's terrible. But people used to not do that stuff because why would they? They didn't get paid to do it. Now they get paid to just lie on the internet. You can't even get reliable news from it anymore. Like what's real, what's fake? This looks real. It's got millions of likes on it. 10 million impressions, breaking headline. Oh, turns out it's just some like grifter account that's, you know, trying to get engagement. It's awful, bro. It's awful. And it makes me sad because it used to be awesome and now it's super shitty. Elon ruined it, man. It's all what Twitter is becoming is it's just going to be a giant. It's just going to be AI talking back to each other. It's going to be AI talking to AI, and then engagement farmers that are trying to make a living getting engagement from basically AI accounts on X.
Yeah.
Horrible, man. Go pick up a golf club and book a tea time.
Do you know of any alternative? Like are people on Reddit now, or is it filled with AI there as well?
I have no idea. It's just over is all I know.
I've spoken to a few people who were, you know, on CT before Elon took over, and basically all of them confirmed to me the same experience, that after he took over, like, sure, you can have subscriptions, sure, he does, like, pay something for the ads, which wasn't there before. But before then, it was really like people trying to help each other, trying to network. Everyone was growing. It was pretty exciting. Again, I thought it's just subjective feeling, but it seems it's the same for lots of people.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. I don't know. I've started to think about even just like posting on TradingView. Like, as much as I don't want to do that, like,
It must be the
'cause at least
bottom.
there people are like exclusively charting, you know. But I'm like, I spent years building a Twitter following just for Twitter to get hijacked by a bunch of complete freaks, you know. So I don't know. It just needs to go back to normal, but I don't know if it will.
At least they have this paid sponsorship tag nowadays. I think that's a good move forward.
What is that?
It's like if someone is like paid to talk about a product, which I don't know how they know this, but it'll say on the bottom of the post like paid sponsorship. So like
Yeah,
you can't have like these KOLs coming out shilling something and not disclosing that they were paid to shill it. Again, I don't know how they know.
No, you have to tag it manually. You tag it manually that it's
They're just not going to do it.
a paid promotion.
What?
Because if you don't do it, then
You
the
can get
authorities-
suspended or banned.
Yeah, exactly.
If they catch you.
I know, man. I know. Like, remember back in the day when the internet was starting? All the forums. You would type a post, and then you would be coming the whole week to chat. Like some of these forums were actually live for like years. I mean a single thread in them.
The internet did used to be better. I won't lie. I mean, I was kind of
But
like, I
tell me.
opened up the other day on a weekend, and the first thing I read was negative, and I'm thinking to myself, nope, not doing this again. Going outside.
But as you said, this is bullish for humanity because people will essentially be disconnecting more.
Yeah.
And
It's
going
true.
outside.
People are starting to wake up to it. Like I'm starting to see these ads. It's called like Brick, where like you can set. I don't know if it's like a Bluetooth device or what, but you got to put it somewhere in your house, and it'll automatically turn off like whatever apps that are distracting, like X, Instagram, all the bullshit. And in order for you to be able to get access back onto those, you got to physically walk to the brick, like tap it. But it's just like a good way.
No, I've seen that. One of my good friends has that. He like keeps it in his car. So like he can't go on apps or something, and then like if he wants to go on them, he literally has to go sit in his car, like in his garage. So it like makes it a hurdle.
Yeah, it makes it a hurdle. It's like fuck it. Like I don't need to. But it's good. I've been victim. I mean, I need something like that probably. The problem is like it's like, and my wife actually said this the other day, and she's right. Like sometimes I go on X to like see what's going on in the markets. Like sometimes like you get like news pretty quick on there, and you like get some insights, but then like I scroll again, then I get distracted, and then I find myself like scrolling for like 30 minutes.
It's very easy to just accidentally waste an hour doing nothing.
I mean, it will become a lot how you are able to work with the algo, what accounts you'll follow, and if you are able to like flip your X to be just your following, and then in a recent manner, right? So you will sort by recent and not by popular, and this way you can actually get like decent content. But the For You page is
here it is.
Let's talk about the markets.
Yeah.
BTCs once again, although still ranging, but like I still have to point out this again and again and again, that every single time there is nowadays an SPX drop or wick spike or oil spike, BTC just refuses to go lower anymore.
Yeah. Like here.
Yeah, I will say eventually you have to look at it and go, well, we haven't really seen equities sell off that hard yet. That I will say. Like, I don't know if I think Bitcoin would hold up if equities really sold.
I think, Max, to stop you there, right there, I agree. But if you're going to look at the March 4th to March 8th sell-off, that was SPX dropping basically 5% in what was it, like 2 days? 2 days. That's pretty big sell-off for SPX. If you're going to look at how Bitcoin behaved every single time in the past that happened, you would see a wild nuke. But this time, Bitcoin only, like it dropped from the range highs, yes, but it didn't even make really a new local low. That was, in my opinion, a first sign. But I do agree, if SPX were to drop here to, let's say, 6.5K, you would probably see BTC correct, but I don't think it would make a new low actually anymore. That would have to be SPX truly going to like at least 6K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk about this example a lot where, and again, S&P hasn't really dropped yet, so to be fair. But in this move specifically, the S&P dropped 17%, right? But Bitcoin was already already down here before like the big leg down for the S&P. The S&P dropped 17% in like 2 weeks. That's a big move down for the S&P. Like, that's significant. And what did Bitcoin do? All it did was that it made like a 2% lower low, and then V-shaped recovered hard. So that's where I think a lot of people are going to get messed up if we do get a bigger drop, right? They're going to be looking for Bitcoin to do something like this, when in reality,
the 2022 fractal, Louis.
Yes, when in reality it could do this, and everyone's looking for that doom and gloom, super to low at a minimum, or maybe we get the sweep, but this is significant, and this goes back to Bitcoin front running a lot of the downside in global markets, because it does. Bitcoin topped in January, and the S&P made fresh all-time highs and didn't drop until a month later, right? While Bitcoin was already heading down. Granted, on the first drop, like S&P finally dropped, you got an initial leg down farther for Bitcoin, but we've already kind of seen that, like, in a way, in my opinion, unless this is going to get way, 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 way worse, which Tommy would probably say yes, right? But wait and see. It's something to think about, where like there's no guarantee if the S&P does drop from here, wherever that may go, that the Bitcoin has to make like a big leg down with it, So that's just something I've been talking about, and the data tells us that doesn't have to, right? So I wouldn't bet on it being a guarantee.
I mean, I'd love for Bitcoin to rip here, man. I would love it. But I don't know. I'm just like spooked by equities.
Who isn't?
I don't know.
That's true. This compression we're seeing up here, although not much yet, but this kind of like flag here, that or pennant, whatever we're doing, reminds me a lot of this as well.
I said that you're gonna point out the April price action from 25.
No, this.
That was such a sick move when it happened.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like we had the range, we deviated it,
Yeah,
got
I
back
see what
inside.
you're-
We were compressing here. Everyone was looking for this, and we broke up.
We didn't deviate it to the downside though this time. 30 point.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We did not.
Although I as well expect higher, but I don't really put much weight onto what BTC is doing here locally. Like it can, what I learned from the markets is that BTC can go to 65.5k another 3 times, just as it can go to the 72k another 5 times. And just keep on ranging.
Yeah, we could just stay in this range.
This is a good range though.
Here.
Actually, when you think about it, it's getting really extended now to the point where it becomes close to the one we had at the end of last year and early January. Actually, if you're gonna take the low and put it up to January 1st, that's about 40 days. You're coming close to that peak.
Yeah, this was about like a month and a half ish, almost 2 months. We're like at a month right now.
How long was the last range? Like 2
2 months.
and a half?
The fact that we got this higher low here has me thinking that the odds of us going higher are higher, if that makes sense.
What do we make of MicroStrategy? Is anybody watching it?
Always.
I am, but I'm not as much interested yet. It's still trading at 1.21 mNAV, and I really before I would get interested, I want to see kind of that sideways price action for some time. Perhaps maybe let's say Bitcoin is bullish here, right, and goes higher again. Obviously, MSTR price will reflect that. But what I would love is that if BTC price, like spot price, goes higher than MSTR does, and MSTR MNAV gets below 1 ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's still higher.
I think that MicroStrategy looks a lot like Oracle, actually, like the downtrend that is from the highs.
Interesting.
Not exactly like the whole bubble, but like the downtrend from the high is trading pretty similarly.
But in like what way would that? What does it imply? Or I'm not sure what you mean with it.
I mean, I don't know what it implies. I just think it's you know, it's trading kind of as like beta tech still.
Oh, I see. So you
Combined with other
think
beta
that
tech.
they are like selling off together?
Yes. I wouldn't say it's like exactly correlated, but I do think there is some relationship between the two. Although indirect.
I mean, technically it does make sense, right? Like Oracle is a software company, and we know that BTC was correlated to software. So
ETF, like, I feel like the software ETF just looks like Microsoft. Interestingly. But I guess, you know, that makes sense. Do you guys have any thoughts on the private credit stress that we're seeing right now?
Not really. I guess I'm not read up enough on it. You might have to fill me in.
Well, it's just like all these private credit funds are like seeing recalls effectively, or like capital calls, margin calls, whatever it might be, withdrawals. They can't really meet them because private equity and private credit isn't exactly a liquid industry. So it's you know, I mean, think about it like, okay, you have so like, yeah, say you have equity in something like Anthropic, for example, that's done great, but it's mostly paper value. You probably borrowed against it. Somebody all of a sudden wants their exposure to Anthropic. Like you have to credit them to some degree. Maybe not like Anthropic, like these fully private rounds, but I mean, some of them I'm sure have gotten like vested. Some of it's vested, I assume, at this point, right? Like with what they're exposed to. But the crux of it is it's a very illiquid fund. So, or like very illiquid vehicles that people are trying to get their capital out of. So they're taking haircuts in order to be able to get that capital back, assuming that the capital that they're getting back is even good. So I think there is obviously a lot of potential problems that could come out of that. And we're seeing financial institutions like JPM, Morgan Stanley, and today Deutsche basically come out and like have to halt the withdrawals, or at least like halt private lending.
Really?
Not like withdrawals from the bank, from their private credit department. But I mean, I'm in the camp that it's a domino effect that we're seeing, right? Like contagion is kind of starting to take effect. And maybe it just translates into like an SVB sort of moment where you get a small pullback and the move index goes up and they are stimulating somehow. But I tend to think there's going to be some consequences this time. Like look at Blackstone, for example. I think it's BX.
Oh boy.
Imploding.
And as move is going up, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. As move is going up, XLF is selling off, pretty correlated with it. So,
Oh man. Yeah, that looks pretty brutal. That doesn't look like it's gonna stop.
I don't even know where that's going to stop, man. I was looking at that chart this morning.
I keep thinking about your MSTR city fractal, Tommy.
It's not very nice.
No, it's not, and it's a little spooky.
Yeah. I mean, I think like Bitcoin's going to be impacted by, if there's going to be larger contagion in the market, I think it's going to impact Bitcoin. It's probably going to impact all risk if tech starts to sell off as a result of financial contagion.
Weekly RSI on this thing is lower than COVID. Like, wouldn't this signal potential Fed intervention somehow, some way?
They will, I imagine they'll try at some point, right? Like the move index hasn't moved enough, I think, for them to like, I'm sure Bassett is watching it though. I mean, he's a Chad. We all know that. I'm sure Bassett is watching it, but I don't think that the move index is necessarily elevated enough that that they're going to step in just yet. What does Bitcoin look like against the PMs right now?
I think looking at the just Blackstone chart itself, what I think is that it's gonna bounce to perhaps like 130, and then probably roll over to like 70.
I want to say that looks like the chart I was looking at recently. Make sure. Yeah, I guess it kind of looks like, nah, not exactly.
Like Blackstone stuff will have these large conglomerates start having to puke a lot of their housing they've been buying up back onto the market. Wonder if what that means for housing.
Well, we know they're going to try and keep the housing prices preserved, right? Because there's a family stake in real estate right now that's pretty significant from the administration, that is. VNQ, I think, would be the ticker to look at for that. It's been in a perpetual range.
Kind of looks bullish.
Yeah, I'm actually like not that bearish on that chart. I wouldn't say that I'm like, I know how to feel about it because I'm not a real estate mogul, but
what? We hired you because you were the real estate mogul guy. Tommy, get it together.
that would honestly be so poetic of boomers to take profit on the market into real estate, leave young people holding the bag on stocks, and then just pump the shit out of real estate. That would actually be so boomer of them.
Yeah, it would be.
With all of their savings currently. I mean, people use houses like a de facto savings account, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Blackstone current price action reminds me so much of Pendle action.
Oh, geez. Good old friend.
I feel like every few months or so I hear the name Pendle thrown around. And I don't know why it keeps lingering. It just doesn't go away. just stays.
Something like that. That would make sense. The chart looks bearish, but currently is heavily oversold. Make it randomly bounce. Sell off. Probably not, but it does look the same though.
Yeah, I'm just like looking at this real estate ETF right now, man. Like this actually does not look bearish. They're just going to pump the crap out of real estate over the next decade, aren't they?
Well, yeah, real estate held up, and then rates are going to start coming down. They're going to pump it.
Yeah, it's going to increase demand.
Yeah, young people will be living in tents on the streets.
I was about to say. Boomers just hate us.
Just sucks. They're just such beneficiaries of like the best time to be a complete idiot with a little bit of passive income to invest. And I think that they're so damn smart because they just had like a 401k and a Roth set up in 1985.
You don't get it. You just gotta work harder, man.
Your generation just doesn't work hard enough, man. You guys just don't know how to save and invest. Man, if you could just build yourself a time machine and just go back to, the very beginning of QE and ZERP and political market manipulation and just mindlessly DCA into it while holding some like mid-level management job for 40 years without actually accomplishing anything, you could make it just like me. You want to buy my house for $3 million? I bought it for $200K 40 years ago. Dude, it's over.
If you buy into the system and help us and serve us during our retirement, you can have this too. And they say it without an ounce of irony. They totally believe it.
They do. Like, yeah, I just don't really get crypto. I don't really see the value in it. It's not, it's not pinned to anything of real value. You would say that because your retirement account has $9 million in it and you haven't learned shit about investing the whole time. You would say that. I wish I could say that too, You would say that. You would think that too. The cushy boomer.
Cushy boomer.
The cushy boomer, man. Nothing better than just the cushy, overconfident, the cushy, overconfident boomer with a lack of empathy towards the situation in which they help create. The cushy boomer. Love me the cushy boomer.
Issue. Well, actually, I do kind of think it might be an empathy issue, man. It's like if they do realize they actually don't even care. They're like, oh, I'm getting it, but also I don't really care.
They don't care. Why would they care, bro? They don't care. And I wouldn't care if I was them either, to be fair. Why would you care? It's not their job to care. And it's not even their fault, really. It's some of their faults. It's you were like 60 years old and you were just making like, 700 grand a year from your like job you've been at for 4 decades. And you had a retirement account with like 25 million bucks in it of just like premier, like blue chip companies. And you never had to sell it. And you could just borrow against it forever. And you just like owned your house outright, probably had like a sick cabin, and you're just loaded off of not really having to do shit. Why would you care? Why would you care?
What do you mean people are struggling? The economy's great.
Yeah,
literally
that hit all-time highs.
Oh.
Fuckers.
Honestly.
And now I'm forced to sit here and pray to God that ETH and Bitcoin don't collapse to zero. It's my only chance. Or I could buy Nvidia at 4 trillion, maybe hit a 2x in 20 years.
You'll buy SpaceX. You'll buy SpaceX at 1.6 trillion in market cap.
And then get rugged 95%, and then have to bag hold for a decade to get back to break even. It's gonna be awesome, man.
Don't worry, boomers are going to be the ones who make the most amount of money from SpaceX.
Yep, they are.
I'm laughing, but it's a painful laugh.
He's crying inside, guys. He's just putting on a strong face.
Well, maybe you can buy stuff worth trillions today and gonna sell it for quadrillions 2 generations later, just like the boomers.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Yeah.
My dollar is literally going to be worth absolutely nothing, but at least I'll have this quadrillion-dollar Nvidia share.
I understand that none of you, you guys had free market forever and that built the greatest nation in the history. But let me share a story with you from a communist country that that was overtaken after World War II by Russia. Communism absolutely crippled everything. And you know what they did in 1953? Inflation, there were two separate markets. There was like the official one, and then there was the black market, which everyone was using, right? Like outside, the prices were totally different than the official prices. And so the official party, the ruling party, right, knew about it. And they didn't know what to do about it. So they did a financial reform. And what they did was that they basically cut it the zeros. And no, they did like an exchange rate for actually they did like an exchange rate for new from like the old currency to the new. And but also what happened actually later on was that we had I think, do you guys still use pennies?
I have not used a penny.
They stopped minting.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, but no. Like we have them, but we don't use them.
It's getting phased out, Jack. It's like I don't know about you guys, but like they stopped minting them, so there's becoming a big shortage. So like businesses now, like food places and stuff, where people still use cash and stuff like that, like they have to round up or round down on the change they get back to you because they can't get pennies anymore. So it's currently being phased out right now.
I see. That's interesting. Well, we had something like pennies too, but they canceled them in, I believe, like the year 2000 already. And back then they still had value. Like, when you went to buy like bread or something like that, just basic food, let's say, it used to cost like 50 pennies back then. And then, when everything became like 1 crown more expensive, they canceled the pennies. But nowadays we are at a state where nobody uses 1 or 2 crowns anymore. And so what I think is going to happen in like a few years here in Czech is that they first canceled the pennies, which was only like 10 pennies, 20 pennies, and 50 pennies, right? And then they totally canceled them. The lowest accounting number was 1 crown, which is like above it, right? So like a penny and dollar. And here it was like something else, and then the crown, Czech crown. And nowadays you cannot buy anything with 1 crown. Everything's more expensive. And so what I think is going to happen is that they will sooner rather than later will delete the 1 crown and then the 2, because you cannot buy anything for 2 either. Only 5 will be left, and then they'll cancel 5, and then the lowest accounting number will be 10 crowns again, just like it used to be pennies. And I think it's gonna happen in US too. They'll cancel pennies completely.
They're gonna cancel cash altogether.
I just hope they don't cancel panties.
Yeah, like
Terrible.
cash phased out completely is coming, in my opinion.
I think it's time to end it here, boys. That's it.
History
Yeah.
lesson. Time to
You
end.
will have your digital dollars and you will like them. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Wait. Read this one. In the UK, before pennies, we had shillings. Now we shill each other.
Yeah, introducing $10 coins. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning into today's episode of Market Check. Covered a ton of different topics on this fine Thursday, but nevertheless, we will be back tomorrow to wrap up the week. And a reminder that we do Market Check live throughout the week when the New York Stock Exchange is open on the following days: Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Our typical start time is around 11:30 to 11:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see you guys tomorrow to wrap up another week. But before you wrap up your day, head on over to the Because Bitcoin X account for Market Talk, hosted by the legendary King Wabi. Those spaces have been unbelievably entertaining recently. If you've been tuning in, then you know what I'm talking about when I say that. But yeah, we'll see you guys later this afternoon for that show. Wrap up your day with some more great market commentary, and like I said, some great entertainment. So Market Talk is typically live around 3:45, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's hosted by the Because Bitcoin account on X. But thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week, and of course, as always, thanks and stay safe.